Okay, still trying to recover from Adepticon, but I have to be at my local game store tomorrow because tomorrow is 40K League. A friend of mine, Susie, she gave this terrain piece to me. It was, and she tends to, as most of us gamers do, hoard a bunch of game stuff, whether it be miniatures, basing stuff, or whatever. And she had this extra terrain piece that she does selling and flipping on eBay also. And she didn't manage to sell this, so she turned around at Adepticon and she gave it to me. Blow up my main window. What does that mean? I don't want to blow anything up. It's super small. Oh, well, that's when Brandon put it together through Streamlabs. When it lets you custom do it, supposedly that was pretty much as big as he was able to make it. So if you know how to go through and do it and fix it, you are more than welcome. Or even just tell me how. But yeah, we tried to make it bigger, but it really wouldn't let us do it. It was really weird. I don't know why. But anyways, she gave me this piece of terrain, and my local game store doesn't have all that much. Yeah, exactly. And they don't have all this much type of terrain, which would be good for games like, yes, OBS, Streamlabs OBS, yes. So I figured something like this would be good for, I guess you can use a D&D campaign, or you can use it with Malifaux and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if you know how to make the screen bigger, I actually did want it to be bigger, but like I told you, Brandon went through, he did try to do it, but it didn't allow him to stretch it out any further than it was. So anyways, what my plan is with this is I just want to spruce it up real quick because it looks like it's just primed in gray. And so I pulled out some GW shades and some washes and pigment powders. And that's pretty much all I'm going to use to try and spruce this up. And with the exception of drying times in between and stuff like that, it really shouldn't take all that long. So basically my plan is first what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix some little chipped areas because as you can see, like I said, thank you, you rock. It's prime gray. And there are some parts here that are a little chipped and you can see the foam. This whole thing is made of foam, just so you know. So some of it is chipped and has black. And while with the shades over it, it might look good, you're going to end up seeing the foam through. It's just going to look weird. So are you taking any new commissions, by the way? Yes, currently on a limited basis, only because we're still working through a queue. We got some stuff from the queue out, so we are taking things in on a somewhat limited basis just for now, while we're still trying to work through and get other stuff out. So if you need anything in regard to that, go ahead and shoot me a message, you know the drill, and we'll discuss. So I figure what I'm going to do is for the washes, I'm gonna start by doing some washes and shades, and while I wait for them, thank you, Jared. While I go through and wait for them to dry, then I'll work on the parts where there needs to be pigment powder. So all the stones here and the brick that you see is going to be done with shades and washes, and the stone is as well for the for the cemetery. And then the dirt that you see here, that's all going to be done with pigment powders, because I figure that'll be just the most fun way to go. So, okie dokie, here we go. I'm going to start by using the Stynylrez Gray Primer, because since the rest of it is primed in gray, it might be a little darker, it might be a little lighter, but, not a big deal. Again, like I said, I'm just trying to make it look decent. You can drag the window out in OBS. Hold shift while you do it to ignore the auto aspect ratio. Shift while I do it. Okay, I will make a note of that. Can I do that now while it's going on real quick, or do I have to go through in the app in order to do it? Because I don't want to, mess up while anybody's trying to watch this or anything like that. Oh, I forgot. This is a new gray primer that I got. I go through this primer so damn fast. Oh, I can. You can adjust while streaming. Okay, so I hold shift while I do it. Okay, hold up. Uh. Mm. It's not letting me. It's not highlighting on the window, and it's not doing that whole square thing to let you shrink it or make it bigger. I keep clicking on it and whatever, and nothing happens. I'm going to use one of my crappy brushes. Clicking when you get to the resizing thing, hold shift. Yeah, I know, I was clicking on it, but resizing, it wasn't coming up. So this is one of my crappy brushes right now because I, mess it up using it for stuff. This is one of the old Games and Gears brushes from when they did the first Games and Gears Kickstarter with the double-sided brush. And I basically use it for pigments and washes and things like that. Yes, that sounds good. So to start, let me try out this whole thing because apparently... yeah, no matter what I click, the resizing is just not coming up. Settings, cutscene, nope. Yeah, it's not letting me do it right now, so it's probably, I probably would have to end the stream in order to do it. Okay, so I gotta open this because I forgot this is a new gray primer. I go through this primer so fast, especially the white and the black because I zenithal prime a lot. Oh my God, Marcus! So, your car, how is that going? with your ass being stuck out in the middle of no damn where. Not that Colleen is any better in that regard. Alright, so I'm going through. I'm trying to make sure because this is such a bigger piece, I'm making sure I'm in a spot where everybody can see. Your car is fucked. What happened to it? What did you do? So a little bit here, so I'm going to make sure to get the top of that. See the difference? Looks a little more uniform. I have OCD, so of course that makes me happy. Got a little crack here, which since it's rock, that's not a big deal, but I'm just trying to get the more open areas. I did finish those shade bar skeletons on Saturday as well. Oh, cool. Did you actually get to do it at Fort Wapple? Like, did you find a place to sit? Dude, I only had a place to sit for like 30 minutes, except when we were all drinking until like God knows when at night. What colors did you use for those shade spire skeletons, by the way, Jared? And I'm just going over this quick, by the way. I'm not trying to be all fancy. I was camped out pretty early. Well, lucky you, dude. So my TPMS tire pressure monitoring sensors came on. Stopped at the gas station, topped off my tires, hit the road. Next thing I know, my front axle locking up the passenger side. So I had to pull over and walk the 3 miles back to the fucking gas station. Oh, hell. Called my boss, and him and his brother came and picked me up. Oof. Oh, Minotaur Ancient Bone. Yeah, that's a good color. Reaper's got some good colors for bones and stuff, too. Not as in their bones miniatures, the, you know, actual bone color. Generous coated to me a clear smoke, 2 colors and done. Yeah, I mean, alright, Dante, I'll get that over to you. Is it okay if I get that to you when the stream's done? Otherwise, the music will turn off. You were between... Okay, that was the part that confused me. So when you were between Oklahoma and Kansas, are we talking like your ass was on the state line or something? That's what I'm curious about. Because I was like, Oklahoma and Kansas, man, that's pretty broad, you know? Like, I was like, I'm just wondering. Oh my god, all these notifications keep coming up on my computer and I can't see the chat. There we go. But yeah, Jared, seriously, that's what's great about skeletons. That's all you really need for the basics is just 2 colors and then bam, got him. See, this is looking a lot better when I sit there and go through with the foam. And there'll still be some of that foam bubble-ish look coming up, you know, in between. But, you know, like I said, if you're just trying to spruce it up a little, you know, you're not trying to go crazy or anything. You just want it to look nice from the table, from afar, and that's it. Just put a little bit of effort. And then since it's foam, you also don't want to put too much weight on it if you need to lean on it for something. Because then, especially with buildings like this, you can risk crushing the building. That's no fun for anybody. I mean, unless you want to fix it up and make it look like, you know, wreckage or something, then I guess you could cover it up and twist it and make it into a good story, I assume. And when I'm doing on these big spots here, is I'm going to basically just dab. Because since there's foam, I want to make sure it gets in there. Just outside Miami, Oklahoma. I didn't even know Oklahoma had a city called Miami. And I don't think it's that kind of place where it would have like the name of one of the biggest party towns in the United States. Like an hour from Joplin, Missouri. But man, your ass was out in like bumfuck Egypt, like no joke. So okay, so what happened with picking up your car? Did you just get a tow truck to pick it up later, or like what happened with all that? Or are you out? Are you like totally out of car? Did you just say screw it and let the squirrels eat it? Like what happened? A little dabble do ya? Honda towed it down to Killeen due to it being a manufacturer issue. Oh, so it's gonna be covered? So you're not gonna have to pay for nothing? Bro, that would be like the ultimate right there, considering, you know, considering the situation. have to pay $750 for the tow to the Honda dealership. Oh God, that's disgusting. That's a disgusting amount right there. That 750, that's like a crazy amount. That's like criminal. And meanwhile, that probably wasn't even going to cost you all that in gas to get to Chicago. Your car was a 4-cylinder, right? Because I know, like with my Kia Soul, to drive to Gen Con and back, it costs us like something like $225 round trip. You know how embarrassing it was calling mom and dad about $50 to get by for a week. Man, don't be embarrassed. That you couldn't have known that was going to happen. And it was a manufacturer defect, so it's not like you turn around and you got drunk and you wrapped the car around the pole and that's why you needed to get by for a week. So like don't beat yourself up about it. That's just silly. $90 for me to drive to Chicago. Yeah, you see what I mean? Like, yeah, with a fuel efficient car, it wouldn't even cost you much at all. Yep. With the Kia Soul, yeah, which it costs us like $225 round trip to drive to Indianapolis and back. And now, better halfbacks. If you take this book and rip out 50% of it, you'll never know if the hero defeats the... Yeah, if you take this book and rip out 50%, I could skip that commercial. She's singing about kittens. I really like better the way I got this camera. It looks like you guys can see shit a lot more clearly. Meanwhile, before that, I was sitting there trying to like work on my camera, and it looked like I was painting like a blob or something. Yay! Thanks for the follow, Marcus. You rock. Alright. Give that a second to dry, and let's see what we got here. So we got some caskets. We can throw that, some Agrax Earthshade on there, because Agrax Earthshade is like Frank's Red Hot. You put that shit on everything, you know what I'm saying? So we'll put some on there. And there's some wood also there, like a dug up casket. Oh no! Use like Firefox or something, bro. Or Explorer. Or I don't know, is even Internet Explorer even good anymore? I have no friggin' clue. And then, let's see, so we can do Agrax Earthshade on these, kind of see how that goes. And Nuln Oil on these, because it's stone, so you start out with that, so that way the black goes into the recessed areas. And then I can go over with other colors, you know, like green for like, you know, moss on there and stuff. Probably do some Agrax Earthshade on them too. You can definitely, with shades and washes and stuff, layer on colors in order to give a more realistic, natural effect. Here's the thing, though. You have to make sure the one layer dries before you put the next layer on. Otherwise, what happens is when you put the next layer on, you're going to end up sloshing around the layer underneath, and it could end up coming off of places where you didn't want it to go. So that's kind of just not what you want happening. For the roof, I'm thinking for this roof here, Oh, Agrax Earthshade can go in that wooden door there too. I don't know how well you can see that wooden door, but there's a wooden door right there. I'll probably do some red in this one. Yep, I have a Carenberg Crimson or something like that, and that's probably what I'll use just to give the um, roof a little bit different color than the rest. So so that way it's not all looking like gray and nature and stuff. Time to get to rearranging the store. Talk to you later. Talk to you later, Marcus. Thanks for coming and hanging out with us for a bit. Share with your friends so that they can like hang out and watch streaming stuff. Let's see. I hate when I can't decide which thing to do first. Well, we'll play with Agrax Earthshade first. All right. So, like I tell people before, anything, don't call up GW going nuts looking for the shades in this size bottle. They do not come in this size bottle. They do have bigger bottles, but they're not like this. I got these myself. I got the bottles at Hobby Lobby. They came in a set of 6, and it was like $2.49 for the set of 6. It fits 4 regular size shades. Like the bottles in this size, it fits 4 of those. And then for the bigger ones, the ones that are twice the size, it fits 2 of those in here. Okay, so we pretty much buy the GW shades in bulk. Basically, because we use them quite a bit for a lot of different things. Excuse me. And I bought all the rest of the stock from a hobby store. So since I bought all the rest of the stock, I turned around and I purchased these bigger bottles. So that way I didn't have like a bunch of bottles all over the place and everything, because I like things to be nice and clean. So I made sure to condense them. I also did the same thing with Lamy and Medium, which I use with the GW paints. At LVO, I was hanging out with Peach. He was at the classroom next door to mine, and so he was kind and gave me a bunch of Lamy and Medium because he knows that I use it, and then I condensed it into this dropper bottle, which I also purchased from Hobby Lobby. I believe 2 comes in the bag of them, and I think it was like $2 or $3 or something. It really wasn't expensive at all. And so I have a bottle like this with Lamy and Medium, and my husband has the other one. Or you can put whatever you mix in. Making the layout now. Thanks, bro. You're all right. I don't care what no one says about you. Back to using my crappy brush. Always keep your crappy brushes for, things like washes, shades, pigments, and or glue. If you do a lot of basing and stuff. Don't throw the brushes away unless you absolutely cannot really do anything with them anymore. Otherwise you can end up wasting money. You don't want to do that if you don't have to. This hobby can tend to be expensive enough as it is with all the stuff we buy. So this will probably take a few layers of Agrax Earthshade, and that is perfectly okay to get it to where I want. And some flock might end up tying into this because there's some flock in here in the corner a little bit. And then all I'd have to do if that's the case is just clean up the brush some, and then it should be okay. Seeing if there's other pieces of wood. There is right behind it. Try and get some of that. Yeah, so that might take a couple of layers to really accomplish what I wanted, but that's cool. Gonna do that door there on the inside. And if you want to get really detailed, you can do the doorknob if you want to. But like I said, if you're just trying to get it on the table and look decent, you don't really have to, because to be honest, no one's going to care. And if they just want to play the game, they're not going to look at it and scrutinize every single piece of this and be like, oh, you didn't do the doorknob, because that's crazy. That's when you say life's too short to be a jerk. Doing some of the wood. There's some wood there in the corner. Hey, hey, glad to have you back. Do the handle on that. See if there's anything else I missed. We can wet the wood. Oh, there's some barrels on the side too. I can grab those. I'll show you where the barrels are if I can get to it. There's barrels right there on the side. And the fun thing about shades is if you go, unless you're trying to do something like so tedious for whatever your reasons are, you can just go crazy. Go crazy. And just get it on there. And it is all good. And again, I'll probably have to put another layer, but it's cool. It's all good. Oh, there's some wood there on the floor there, that dug up coffin I was telling you about. Now, in order to make it darker, I can't put the next layer on really until the other layer dries. Otherwise, I'm going to end up fighting with it a bit. And I don't want to do that because I want to get this done and get it done quick. That's my objective. That's all I'm trying to do.
Should I make a Squarespace website for it? Yes, they're very good websites.
I'm blowing out the rest of the extra the extra flock, and I got it in my eye. That wouldn't have been fun. Alright, let's see. What can we do next? We can break out the Nuln Oil to do the cemetery stones. That could work. Oh, there's a little spot on the inside that door. That door just goes all the way in there. Alright. Alright. And I'll probably have to refill that spot there, so I'm sloshing on that Nuln Oil. Slosh, slosh. Trying to make it so you can see what I did with the Nuln Oil, so you see the difference. There we go. Yeah! Upload the photos to my Instagram. Oh, you did? That's awesome. I can't wait to see them. You know what? I'm behind. I gotta do stuff, put stuff up on my Instagram too. I know, for shame, for shame. I did, however, man, I was busy all day, seriously, besides trying to catch up on sleep. I'm not even joking. I kept getting up in between and doing stuff. So I got the last load of laundry in the machine now. I also did updates on the website, so I got that done. And then got some bill stuff done, and then I uploaded the live video that I did yesterday of the crystal brush ceremony. A couple people asked me if I would put it on the YouTube channel, basically so that way it's easier to access it if they tried to look for it, you know, because after a while, if they wanted to look back on it in a few months or something like that, and if it's only on the Metalhead Minis page, then they'd have to sit there and scroll for God knows how long before they found it. So usually, anyway, when we do certain special live videos, we always try to put it up on the channel anyway, just so that it's easy to find if you ever need it for anything. So that's up there now. Did that. we're just getting all kinds of stuff done. And then Dante and I, Truth and I, we discussed, making changes to make the Twitch channel better. That's what he's working on right now as we speak, and adding some stuff to the YouTube channel and stuff. So it's gonna be good. Trying to do some cool changes. Trying to be better at doing this. You know what I mean? Because I'm still learning. As Dante said, I am the OG, which means I also only know pretty much the old school stuff, except for how to promote yourself on social media and stuff. I'm pretty up to date with all that, but you want me to live stream and do all this Twitch stuff? Psh, but YouTube, actually, I'm pretty decent at, especially if it's with the phone. If I live stream with the phone, actually, I'm good at it, as long as I have a good internet connection. That's looking pretty good, right? Like I said, you just want to keep it. And also, the other thing is, too, is this is not a piece that I'm getting paid for. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I'm just trying to quickly paint it up for my local game store to help him out so that he has a nice new piece of terrain in the store. He doesn't know that I'm bringing it for him. I'm actually surprising him with it tomorrow. So hopefully Matt will be excited when he gets it. For the terrain that they have in the store, they have mostly for like 40K and Infinity and stuff like that. He loves Infinity, so of course, there's stuff for that. See, I knew it. I knew I was going to have to refill on that Nuln Oil. Round 2 of Nuln Oil. Fight! I'm trying to make sure I get all sides. See, it makes a difference. Those GW shades, they're the shit. And then if I plan to paint another, model tonight, let's just say for argument's sake, I'm probably going to go to bed after this because I'm still recovering from Adepticon. But basically, if I wanted to paint another model, what I would have to do is change the water before I paint another model because of the foam and the foam is with a mix with the primer is probably going to be a little flaky and create dust in the water there, and obviously I'm not going to want that to get on the next model. At the top it looks like dirty stone. Dirty stone. The bones that I see there on the graveyard floor, I'm probably gonna do Agrax Earthshade on those two because the shading on skulls tend to be brownish or brownish gray, stuff like that. What, kitty kitty? My cat's meowing outside like he can't find me. Our house is a decent size, but it sure ain't that big. I'm right here, Ollie. Psst, psst. Come here. Come sit in here. Oh, you're being a goober. Hi, goober. Oh, that's why you were going to bother your cousin. All right, well. Sit down. What? What's the matter? You have food and water, and your litter box is clean. You ain't got nothing to complain about. He's probably complaining because he wants to go back to bed. We were pretty much laying in bed the whole time while I was doing work on the computer for the shop. He was so happy. Meow. Just making those weird meow songs. Singing his arias, as I like to call it. More Nuln Oil. See, I go through this crap a lot. So, yeah, if you use a lot of shades too, like me, just put it in a big bottle that's easy to pour out.
Now is the only reality that we have. It's time to secure your domain. We chose archmotorcycle.com, but you should pick a name that's not my company.
And you can even hear it, like, then if you can hear the noise of the brush going against the foam and everything, you can be pretty sure there's going to be dust particles mixed in with that brush from the mix of it being foam and primer. The skeleton that's inside, I'll probably dry brush in off-white, but that'll probably be about it. I'm not going to go nuts on that, like, at all. Usually the day after I come back from a con, I usually sit there and, do a piece or work on something for a little while that I can unwind on as kind of like a warm-up before I go back into doing commission work and stuff. So right, exactly, like basically. And Haley, how are you there? How do you say it? Stevie? How are you? And thank you for being here. Yeah, that's what I basically do as a no-brainer piece. Just something easy just to screw around on. So basically, when it's just Steve. Okay, thank you. Because I thought I saw like a H there at the end, so I wasn't sure. So yeah, so that's basically what I like to do is just work on some kind of something easy, or maybe something from Shelf of Shame that I own that only needs like a little bit of work left done to it or something. Just to as a warm up, because when you're really tired from a convention and whatever, you don't want it to be that the first thing you work on is like a commission that you have to do really good on or whatever. or that you want to, you know, look good or whatever. You want to kind of wind the, you know, shake the tired out from the convention and then work on whatever you have to work on. So that's just basically what I do anyway. Most of the time, unless it's like some kind of stupid easy commission. I raided my shelf of shame this afternoon. Found quite a few I'd forgotten. I know, right? See, when you go through certain parts of your shop or your hobby area and you have stuff in shelf of shame that you haven't looked at in a while, it's almost like when you forget that you had it, it's almost like Christmas, right? Because you sit there and you open it up and you're like, oh my God, I have this model. And I have that model. And it's just all kinds of fun. Yep, seriously, it's like Christmas. Oh, round 4 of the Nuln Oil, adding more. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I have a couple of commission things that are almost done, and I'll probably, after, you know, working on my, you know, no-brainer warm-up piece, whatever. I tend to sometimes call the in-between pieces lunch break pieces, so that works too, if you want to call it that. But yeah, after this, then I go back to doing, you know, what's almost done, what's just about ready to go out, work on those. We got a couple of things out right before Adepticon, and that's always a good feeling when you get that feeling of accomplishment from finishing something. Yeah, exactly, like a recharge. Now, well, you can see this. Yeah. Ooh, see, I'm liking the fact that I did this camera angle to go back further, because now I feel like you guys can see stuff better. It doesn't look like I'm just painting a blob. And then dab in when you see certain areas that are like deep recesses. And then I'm going to try and finish up my friend's Space Marine army for him to get that out, because I have another army coming in. Well, not an army, it's a large, it's a pretty large size Guild Ball commission. I can work on that on stream, you know, as I do it if you guys want. It's basically a commission of the Guild Ball terrain pack, and there's the Morticians pack. You know how they changed everything over to plastic, so supposedly they made these new, you know, sets. So anyway, yeah, so there's the terrain pack, there's the Morticians, and Alchemists. And those will be done high tabletop, so it should be a fun job. I like Guild Ball figures anyway, so. So there's that. We got 40K stuff in the, you know, going on. I'll probably also, as I can, work on my Age of Sigmar Khorne models, because I'd like to partake in an Armies on Parade, which I meant to do last year, but there was too much going on, so I couldn't do that. But I'd like to work on that at some point. I also have to finish my own Guild Ball team. I got a couple of more pieces for that, by the way. While I was at Adepticon, they Steamforge Games. I think me and the wife are doing Geek Nation tours next year too. Oh, cool. So yeah, at Adepticon, Steamforge Games had some of their limited pieces that I guess they had a few left of or whatever. And you know how Halloween, or I don't know if you're familiar with the fact that they had Halloween limited edition stuff, but they did. And they had this one where Obulus as your Guild Ball kickoff is plastic. Oh yeah, that part I know, but I'm talking about those new sets that came out. But yeah, they had Obulus as the master of spooks. So he's like got a pumpkin head, like a jack-o'-lantern head and stuff. Oh my god. And Halloween's my favorite holiday. So pretty much anything Halloween, I'm like all about it. So, you know, if you can't tell, that's why I picked up Morticians, and that's why you've been seeing me paint horror figures and stuff for Blackheart models and stuff. Which, by the way, that's probably something else I'll do on stream with you guys too, because while I was at Adepticon, Blackheart models gave me more stuff to paint for them. They were like, "Oh my god, paint these," and I still got like a few others here to finish. So, but they're like, you know, they're cool about it. They're like, you know, no rush. Do it when you can do it, because you know, George, who's the owner, he likes to make sure that, you know, we take our time and enjoy painting them, because then that's how he knows that he'll get better results that way and stuff. But then I also have Shelf of Shame stuff that I just need to get rid of. And if you guys are in the Oklahoma area, like Tulsa, I will probably be going to the Tulsa Figure Show in June, and I'll have the Blackheart models displayed there, because, you know, scale models like that and stuff tend to, you know, those are pretty big over there. People love seeing that stuff over there. So I'll probably bring that and other stuff. Another round of Nuln Oil is happening. Trying to catch spots that I forgot or missed or whatever too. So I heard that Star Trek Ascendancy, even though it says that it's 1 hour to play the game, that it could take as long as Twilight Imperium. There's actually a few people that told me that. I was like, oh, 1 hour to play? I'm kind of surprised given what's in it and then what's to do. And they're like, no, you play that game, you might as well take the same amount of time that you take for Twilight Imperium. So I don't know when the hell I'll ever have time to play Star Trek Ascendancy, but we'll see. I am pretty excited to paint like the kickoff models, because like I said, I like painting Guild Ball stuff. I am curious also to see how painting the plastic ones compare to the metal ones, because the metal figures, the detail on them was so great. And all of my Morticians are metal. So, and now my friends that I'm going to be painting, that Guild Ball commission that I have coming in, that's all plastic. So I'm really kind of curious to see how that is. My friend Raven Garfield, who also recently, not too long ago, had a Kickstarter for he made the Guild Ball goalposts. I sat there and I put in for his Kickstarter, and I got one for every team in the first run, and then he did a second run because he made a goalpost for the blacksmiths, so I got that too coming. So at some point, I'm sure I'll be painting the goalposts too, and maybe I'll, you know, put the rest up, you know, when as I paint them, maybe put them up for sale or use them for giveaways or something. Jesus, my cat's still going. And just so you know, my cat's very spoiled. He's like, he never needs anything or whatever. He's just needy as hell. pretty good, I think. There we go. Ah! Alright, I'm checking to see if I missed any spots. Actually, I know I gotta get... Oh, I gotta get these guys at the end. Oh. And it looks like with the foam, we'll have to go over it a couple of times because it's like basically absorbing. Probably one thing you can do in this case, if you have something that's like a material that absorbs a lot, is spray Tester's Dull Coat, and that usually helps with stuff like that. I hate that the stream safe music sometimes is so annoying. And I'll sit there at times, like if I know that there's no shot that I'm gonna put it up on YouTube, that I'll just play whatever music, because then it won't, really matter much if it's not gonna really go anywhere. But whenever I play, regular, I guess you'd say copyrighted music, then it ends up muting some parts of the stream. I just hope it doesn't mute the parts that matter, Like if I give important information, knowing my luck, that's when it'll mute it. It'll be like mute, and then the sound will come back in. And that's how you do this really difficult technique.
Okay, what should we watch now?
Oh, I'm not picky. You can choose.
Alexa, show me comedies.
I mean, maybe something with a bit more tension.
Alexa, show me dramas.
What about some...
Oh, Maron, get out. And if you hear a bunch of booming as if there's an earthquake going on in my neighborhood, it's not. It's my neighbor blasting music that I know is so loud that it is shaking their car. I guarantee you that's what's happening. And they are always doing that. Agrax Earthshade. Gonna go back to that on the wood for a minute. Come here, Oliver James. And stop meowing like that. You're gonna wake people up. And I'm enjoying the peace. Don't ruin it for me. Let me see, it makes it a little darker. Not a crazy amount, but it makes a difference. Stop meowing, you're gonna wake people up. I don't want to wake cranky children up in the morning for school. It's never fun. Although it looks like our neighbor will end up doing that for the waking up for us. There we go, got that door. Let me see, what else is wood again? The barrels. Gotta go back to them barrels. It is. Trying to get inside, just, and since it's a crappy brush, it doesn't matter. You just kind of go around like that. Oh, let me get those skulls while I'm at it. That'll work. Get them skulls. And then when I dry brush, like I was telling you, that off-white or whatever for the skeleton inside that sarcophagus or whatever, then I will dry brush, you know, the skulls obviously too. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, it ends up there was a frame around the door. Okay, we got that. Oh, I see a spot missed on the side. Going back in with the Nuln Oil on the side of, got one gravestone, another gravestone. Greetings, 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 Ed. How are you? How's my little girl Aaliyah? I assume, of course, that she's in bed, being that it's 10:30. Or wait, or is it spring break over there? Going in doing Agrax Earthshade over the skeleton is what I'm doing. Just to touch on it. Alright, let's see. What else do we got? Alright, so we got some stuff drying. I'm kind of wondering if I should go back over some parts with the Nuln Oil because it dried, but it looks like it's not really, it kind of looked like it absorbed, like I said, with this material. Kind of not surprising. But it'll be fine. I mean, I probably should have dull coated over it first, but it's not going to hurt anything by the fact that I didn't, so it just means got to put a little extra in there. That's all it means. I could just generously go over. There we go. I thought there was supposed to be another song happening. What happened?
My kids play here. Guess who else does?
Spring break. Okay, I figured. Yeah, she was on spring break. Trying to go over on that side there. Alright, yay! Yay! Huh. So I'm looking at this and I think, you know how they said in Jaws or whatever, we're gonna need a bigger boat! I think when I get to this next part, I'm gonna need a bigger brush. Huh, I'm wondering if that'll be a good size. It might be. This is a cheapy brush that someone gave me. I don't know who gave it to me. One of my friends a long time ago gave it to me. Oh, Carl. My friend Carl gave it to me. That's what it was. Because I was trying to remember where I got it from. But this is, you know, just a cheapy brush. Nothing great. You know, nothing expensive. And I figured I'll use that to go over with the shade and stuff on there. So I'll work on that next is what I'll do. So break out more Nuln Oil. Pass the Nuln Oil. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of Nuln Oil killed in the making of this. Yep, that'll work. Especially because, like I told you, it sucks up some of it. So if I just be generous with it and just slosh it around, it'll be all good. Gonna do outside too. That way when I do the other colors and stuff, it'll all tie in together. Black's not the only color I'm going to use. I'm going to be layering other colors over it. You'll see. You'll see it's going to look real cool. You're going to be real proud of me. So, Ed, I loved it when you sat there and you posted the picture of the skin triads that you got. That's so awesome. And then people were sitting there saying, teach me, wise one. So you better sit there and do some faces and teach the people. Better show them what you come up with. See, aren't you glad I used a bigger brush? Otherwise, this would have been like a painstakingly slow process. You can get cheapy brushes by the package at any art store. Also, it's spring, so this is the season. 'Tis the season where people do their spring cleaning, go through, find things that they don't want, and sell stuff in a yard sale. So definitely always check yard sales this time of year because you will be, honest to God, surprised how much stuff you could find that you can use with your hobby stuff. That you can use for terrain. You know, you could end up finding cheap art supplies because some people will be like, oh yeah, I thought I was gonna, you know, be Bob Ross and paint on canvas and I didn't end up doing it, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, next thing you know, get a package of brushes for like $1. So especially if you like doing things like terrain and you know, mess around with stuff, you definitely want to do that. Just check out yard sales. Oh, see, yeah, the bristles are even coming off on it. But like I said, lots of containers as well. Oh yeah, for sure. Get lots of storage containers from yard sales. Oh my God, dude, the stuff that you can find, it's nuts. You know what I did find recently at a yard sale too? Not for nothing. For $5, okay, I managed to get a big wooden box. Okay, here's what happened. What happened was we sat there in the house and we decided that we needed some kind of box or something to put in front of the house for packages. Because especially when it's bad weather and stuff like that, I absolutely friggin' hated like when rain would get on it and stuff like that, and then it would be ruined. You know, I hated that. So I sat there and was like, you know what, um we need some kind of box or something to put so that they can put the packages in there. And sure enough, this yard sale that I passed by, this lady, her father, like 50 or 60 years ago, made this big ass wooden box that's like, I don't know, like 18 to 24 inches long or something like that, and over a foot high. You know, a good size for you know, to hold a good size package. And yeah, I mean, if we would have sat there and bought the wood and you know, the hinges and everything else to put it together ourselves, it would have cost more than $5. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it would be like stupid expensive, but it would definitely be more than $5. So I turned around, spent the $5, and saved us money and saved us time. So I know it doesn't really have to do with hobby stuff, but the point is that you never know what you're going to find. And I just happened to pass by this lady on the street that was just selling stuff on the side of the street. And I sat there and thought, oh, yeah, you know, I wonder what she's got over there. I guess I'll go check. You never know. And yeah, sure enough, that's what I found. And mostly what she had was tools and stuff. I guess she was just trying to get rid of, you know, stuff out of the garage. But yeah, people are always moving and getting rid of stuff they're not using. And just because they're not using it, don't mean you can't use it. Thinking, gotta find that red for that. Where is it? What I was gonna use? Reikhland Fleshade gloss. No, that's not gonna work. BL10 green. No, I don't want to use that. Where did I put that Caribird Crimson? Or I can even use the Baal Red. I got a big thing of that. Hold up. Haha. This is the old school GW wash in Baal Red. I transferred it to a dropper bottle a while back. Gotta shake it well because I haven't used it in a while. And I'm putting this just so that there's a pop of color of, you know, a pop of another color somewhere on there. Because, you know, if all I use is browns all throughout and you know, grays and stuff, it's just going to look, with the exception of the flock giving it a pop of color also, it'll just end up looking a little blah and drab. So I figure I'll do a red, and then I'll go over with Agrax Earthshade. And I'm pretty sure the mix of the two colors on this is going to look pretty cool. If there's bubbles, get rid of the bubbles. Otherwise, it's going to dry. With the bubble look on there, it's going to look splotchy. You don't want that. Alright, back to Biggie brush. What to start with on this one? I think I'm going to start with Reikhland Fleshade on that stone. Reikhland Fleshade. I'm going to do a few colors. Reikhland Fleshade is like a reddish brown. And you can use this for woods too, but I wanted the casket wood to be more of a darker, dirtier looking brown. If you sit there and you want, if you like, say on a tabletop model, you're painting silver armor, Reikhland Fleshade is a good wash color to use over it because then it makes it look like rusted metal, if that's the effect you're going for, mind you. Got a dab in those little areas. And since there's the flock in here is like green and yellow and stuff, then aside from the Reikhland Fleshade, I'm also going to use other colors in the stone, the main stone all around, such as Drakenhof Nightshade and Nuln Oil. And green. I'll be using green in there too. And this technique about doing the shades layered over one another was shown to me by Michelle from Mini Painter Inc. One day we were sitting there a few years ago at ReaperCon, or a couple years ago maybe it was, and we were sitting there at doing our late night session painting and stuff like that. And I was working on something for Iron Wind Metals because I also paint for Iron Wind Metals, and it was a little terrain piece and stuff. And basically, I was trying to think of how I wanted to go about doing the stone. It was the dragon portal door. It doesn't matter that some of the flesh shade touched on the stone because other colors are going into those stones too. And she sat there and she said to me, she says, "Well, what if you take the shades and just go over one over another and stuff like that?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know what? Let me try that out." And sure enough, it looked really, really good. So I do it with a lot of different stones and stuff like that. So it actually works out pretty good. Sorry for all the turning around, just trying to get a good angle with it. Yep, thank God I used a bigger brush. I would have been sitting here for hours trying to do this, and I would not have been happy. Hey Jared, didn't you do Geek Nation tours by yourself also this year when you went to Adepticon, or did you not get to do it? Gotta do another round of flesh. Working on getting that, go side to side because you're trying to get in the crevices there. And like I said, if it touches the gravestones, it's not a big deal because, first of all, it's not going to dry as dark as what you're seeing for right now. Like right now, while it's wet, it looks darker, but it's not going to dry that dark, so don't worry about all that. And I'm going to be putting green and stuff like that over it to show the appearance of moss and stuff that's grown over time from and accumulated from rain and stuff like that and other weather conditions. So it'll mask it and stuff like that. Thank you. Gonna knock it. That's all I'm trying to do is just show you how to knock stuff like this out relatively quick. And for a piece this size, I think I'm making good time. At least I hope I am. How much time are we up to? An hour and 17? That's not. You want to go up and down. Like I said, this goes back to why you use the crappy brushes, because you're going to go up and down and side to side with the objective of trying to get in between the bricks and stuff like that. So definitely do that. Just so you kind of see how that's looking. Now, it looks a little darker now, but you see how Reikhland Fleshade, it's such a good color. Oop, I got my fingerprint on there. Oop, I didn't mean to do that. I fixed it. Or as my little one says, I got it. Trying to turn it in such a way so you can see me do the in front parts there. There we go. There. Gotta refill that Reikhland Fleshade again. Man, if there's any time that you're about to see why we buy the GW shades in bulk, it's gonna be this video right here. Be like, Jesus Christ, do you see how much shades that Metalhead Minis goes through all the damn time? And it's not just me who uses it too. Trying to find a way to... I also got to turn it to me a little bit so that way whatever I miss from being under the camera, I can get. Move this stuff over a little so you can see me doing some more. There we go. She really wants someone to dance with her. Trying to get a spot that I missed in the front. Or little spots, I should say. Yeah, buddy. Side to side. Up and down, all around. Take those shades and smack them around. Trying to get a little spot in there I missed. Got it, got it, got it. Bam, got him. Try to get another side here. Quickly going all around here. Move it around. Whoops. Holding on to it lightly so I can get up in there. Looks like I have to refill the Reikhland Fleshade again. And I don't, you know, take excess off the brush even. Not with a piece this big. Like if I was doing a shade on a smaller piece, like a 32 mil or something like that, or even 54, or I'm doing like a really small spot, then yeah, fine. But like in a piece like this, hell no. Because you're just trying to do a tabletop. You want to get this done. And to get a good amount of shade on there, you're going to want to be generous with it anyway. And you see it when it's like this, it's not going to dry really like this. So it's going to suck it up a little bit because of the material. She won't do it again. I don't know what she did, but whatever it is, she won't do it again. Hey Dante, she's probably talking about drinking with me at Adepticon. I think that's what she's singing about. Oh boy, look, I'm getting around quick. Just look at me go. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any spots. Got some in there. Missed some there. Gonna get that front step there. There. I'm looking around and checking. A little bit inside there. Which I couldn't see anyway because of the angle of the camera. I mean, if I miss other spots, it's not that big of a deal because obviously I'm going to go over it again with other colors. So, but since this is the first base color that I'm starting with, I want to try and get it as much as I can. Okay, I will in a second because I'll have to break off that in a minute anyway. I'm trying to figure out how I can put this so that you could see it because of what angle this is at. There we go. That's awesome. Dante said he's working on some tombstone icons for us. That's cool. I like tombstones. You can deck the whole channel out in Halloween. I don't care. I'm double checking. Oh, didn't get inside there.
Similac is introducing the first and only infant formula, 2FL human milk oligosaccharide, an immune-nourishing prebiotic previously only found in breast milk. Similac supports babies developing immune system in the gut, unlike other formulas.
Oh no, no more formula for me. Finished that all a long time ago. See that? Alright. That's looking good. So now, since pretty much whatever is going to get washes and inks on them got their inks and washes, that means that I can, because the steps here are still trying to dry a little bit. Actually, I can go over these with Nuln Oil for a little bit more. Then we can start on pigment powders now. No, that's fine. That's fine, Dante. You, seriously, dude, you know better than me what the hell to do with all that. Dude, for real though, you know better than me. I don't know, dude. I just work here, you know. All right, woo! Gonna let that dry for a second, and I gotta check a message. Hold up. All right, so she starts stream, edit stream, da 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 da. Trying to see how you do it. Hey Dante, on the sides there, those 3 rows, what exactly is that? And I see how you have it, the squares extended out. That looks cool. Can still do the chat boxes and stuff too, right? Like kind of like what I got going on now. And then having the sponsors blinking and stuff. Or scroll through or whatever it does. Alright. Pigment powders! So here's what I picked out for pigment powders. Basically, well, that'd help you to see the name, right? Basically, what I did was I picked out a dark, a mid, a light. I picked out, these are Andrea pigments, and I'm going to try and use these up. So I got Natural Earth, Sienna, which is like a tan, because dirt is naturally not all one color, and light ochre, which I'm not going to use a lot of. It'll just be a little bit of that. So pigment powders. You could either do things like add products, social media icons. Okay, awesome. You can use products such as Secret Weapon, Pigment Fixer. There you go. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, you can use products such as Pigment Fixer. You can use, unless your dirt comes from Oklahoma, or you can use mediums depending on what you're trying to do. You can glide and slide all of this anywhere you want. Okay. Or you can just put the pigment powder on by itself without anything, just to get some color on, and then spray Testa's dull coat over it. So you can do that too. Or you can mix it with a plethora of different things. You can even just mix it with water and then put it on as if it were paint. Because after all, that's what pigment powder was before it turned into paint. So I'm going to do it plain, because afterwards, later on, I am going to spray Testa's dull coat on this. Okay? I have this brush. It's another cheapy brush that a friend of mine gave me. And you see there's some here on the brush. And I'm just going to do a little, I'm not going to do crazy, but so you can see. And I'm just going to paint it over the dirt. And yeah, it's going to be a little dusty, so that's why you don't want to do too much at a time. You don't want to, in spite of the fact that you want to get this done quickly, you still can, but I don't honestly recommend, if you do it this way, to overpile it up on the brush and then, go or whatever. If some of it gets into the flock, that's totally fine, because realistically, there's dirt that mixes in with certain grass anyway, especially if it's something like a graveyard where everybody's walking all over the place and, you know, walking on the dead and looking for ghosts or whatever they're doing. So, and just putting it and just going with the whole dabble do you approach and just kind of, you know, all over the place there. Oh, whoops, I see that some of that flesh shade is overpouring in some places. Go there. Okay.
Brushing only reaches 25% of your mouth.
Is that so?
Virtually 100%.
So just so you can see so far how it looks.
Never settle for 25%. Always go for
This is pigment powder, plain by itself.
Bring out the bowl.
And it's not, you know, dark or, you know, crazy dark or whatever. It's just enough to show that something's going on there. That's all it is. And I'm going to go over it later. I'll go over all this later with Tester's Dull Coat. Granted, the more layers of pigment powder you put, the darker it'll come out and the more coverage there will be, sure. But if you just want enough just to make it look like something's going on, and I'm not worried about running out of any sort of pigment powder with all this because I have, honest to God, I have more pigment powder than I will ever know what to do with. And we go through pigment powder quite a bit too. Oh, just to show you. So like I was telling you how you can use pigment powder with mix it with a medium or whatever and use it like it's paint. Here's an example. This is a model for my Shelf of Shame that I've been slowly working on. It's Andrea Miniatures. It's a Viking blacksmith. Wait. Okay, so when I did this model, thank you, sweetie. It's so nice. So what I did here on this, thank you. So what I did on this so far, I mean, it's nowhere near done, mind you. This part down here, the dirt is mostly where I want it. Might do some tweaking on it, but just so that you're aware, what I did was I went over the whole top of the plinth with super glue. I roughed up the surface using some heavier grit sandpaper. I think it was a 60 or 70 something grit that I used. I honestly don't remember exactly which, but it was more on the medium grit side. And then I used an X-Acto knife to create hash marks, and this is so that whatever I put on it would make it adhere better. And what I did was I used a texture gel, like I used Winsor Newton, the sand-like texture gel, in order to around the rest of it, because some of that is part of the base of the model that's made of white alloy metal from Andrea Miniatures. But in order for it to all tie together, I used a texture gel. And then what I did was I took a Secret Weapon pigment, I mixed it with medium, and then I painted over it as if it were actual paint. And I went over it a couple of times in order to get full coverage. And then when I went over the top of it in order to create the look of more text, to create a more textured look, I used other colors of pigment, such as sort of like the light ochre that that I showed you before, but I have a lighter one in Secret Weapon, like the yellow. It was like a whitish yellow, and then I used a violet pigment in the shadowed areas, and that's how I created that look of dirt. And when I finish painting over it, there are other parts of the model that there's going to be more pigment powder to give the appearance of dirt on the boots and on the pants and and stuff like that. So I will be doing more pigment dirt on there. But just to show you an example of how you can take pigment powders and use them as paint, that's an example right there. Just so you see. Okay, so let me continue, otherwise we're going to be up all night together. Again, this flock already came on this when my friend gave it to me. I did not put it on beforehand, just so that we're clear. It was already there, so that's why you see me working around it. If I actually was the one to work on this, then I would have done the painting or pigmenting and whatever first, and then I would have added in the flock later. And I would have done it random, sort of randomized, like you see here. I also probably would have used more colors in the flock just to make it look a little more natural. Now, in an effort to, if I wanted to put more work into it, I could go back in and add other colors of flock to it to create more dimension, but truthfully, I'm not going to. You're silly, okay, Jared? I dream of long nights watching you paint. Shoot, I dream of getting more sleep, so someone in this relationship here is beat. And then you do want to get some dirt on the tombstones and stuff, because guess what? They get dirty. Don't know if you've ever hung out in a graveyard before, but just in case. It's okay to get it on the stones. Oh, am I sitting here painting pigment powder and yelling and being able to see it? I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I get a minute here and there. I get all in the zone, and then I'm like all over the place. So what do you think about this so far? Do you think this is a cool and easy way for you to get some terrain on the table without having to go crazy with paint and primer and everything else? I mean, because to be honest with you, I just kind of thought about this on a whim. I'm not going to lie. I did sit there and consider doing colored primer and stuff like that. But then I was just like, well, man, it is Monday, and we're going to the game store tomorrow, and I don't want this sitting around in my house because I got people up in my house that are built for destruction. And I am not trying to make things stick around in my house longer than they need to. Usually the families or the police chase me out before nightfall. Oh, you're so bad. That almost reminded me of that meme or whatever. Don't ask, stop telling me to get out of your house and whatever. I'm just making you breakfast. Or I don't remember how that meme went, but basically like where a stalker would be sitting in the house. Or cooking in the house, rather. And they ain't supposed to be up in there. Yay! Look, we got one part of it done, I think. Ooh, look at us go. Ooh, we champs. And I just got pigment powder on my hoodie. Sign of a true painter. feel like I'm putting eyeshadow on. Usually when I do eyeshadow, I'll go in with my makeup brush into the container to get some powder, and then I tamp some of the excess off, just like you do when you're putting on makeup. Up until the head's house. If you file charges up until its observation. What do you guys think so far? It's looking like dirt and grass, or what? Yay, we got one part. Trying to get little spots that I missed now that I have it here on this side. Ooh, I see I gotta get some outside parts too. We're gonna work on this part first. Just doing dab, 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 dab. I'll check that photo in a few, Dante. Ooh, I'm getting it all over on the table too, so now I gotta pick up from there. Otherwise, it'll be a lot of cleanup happening later. Facebook layout pick updated. Hello, Dodek. How are you? Thanks for joining. How's things going? I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? I'm good. I'm just still recovering from Adepticon, so I'm still tired as hell. And I've just been hanging out, and doing kind of like a no-brainer piece. This is a piece of terrain that a friend of mine gave me. And she was like, hey, this is extra that I had, and you can do whatever with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just, doing some quick stuff on here to spruce it up, make it look nicer, because it was just, pretty much just gray primered with some flock on it. And then I'm going to give it to my local gaming store so that they have extra terrain for other games besides 40K and Infinity and some other stuff. They need more that can be used for like Malifaux and stuff like that. So that, my friend, is what I am working on. And I'm basically trying to show you guys ways that you can do it, quickly. So with this, I have just used... Thank you for the follow, Dante. Vijay said truth. Vijay's truth. I'm trying to say the letters if they were all together. I know it's supposed to be, just the letters, but it just sounds more fun to try and put it together into a word. But that gentleman that just gave us a follow, if you ever need help with getting, you know, stuff to spruce up your Twitch channel like he's doing for me as we speak, or if you need stuff done to your YouTube, or if you have questions and need help with streaming, he actually is pro level at it. And Cosmic Cubicle is also great at helping with stream stuff because he has also a lot of experience with streaming on Twitch. So if any of you guys have questions in regard to that, those are the people to message and go to. Yeah, it's definitely always good to support the local shops. And, you know, the local game store owner is also one of our friends, so I like to try and help them wherever I can, you know. But also, too, it gives me a piece to kind of no-brainer unwind on, do something easy and simple, so I'm not, you know, working on a commission tired. It's kind of like I do this like it's a warm-up before I go back into, you know, work painting. And it gave me an idea also to, you know, to show you guys, so that's why I decided to do it as a live stream, so I can show you guys quick and easy ways to do certain stuff, because everybody's always looking for saving some time, right? I forgot that I didn't follow you. That's alright, I forgive you. And you definitely want to get some dirt on that dug up coffin. And even if you're going to go over with another shade, you can still do that. You apparently know people. Of course you know people. Why are you acting like you don't know nobody? Oh, I see the shade kind of piled up on that one part there. There we go. And see, doing this whole thing with the pigment powders is relatively quick. I mean, I feel like it's been relatively quick. That's just me, though. How many people we got up in here? We got 5 people? That means somebody in this group is being shy and not saying hi. Don't be shy. We are a cool group of people. I can vouch for everybody that's in here. We're a cool bunch of people. We have a good sense of humor. Do not be shy. Say hi to us. Don't have a shop local to me, sadly. Otherwise, I'd go while making terrain. Oh, that's a shame. How far is the closest, you know, whatever, store from you? Is it like, do you live in like one of those towns where you basically got to drive an hour to get to anywhere? Or is it an even worse situation than that? Oh, look, see? Got dirt. We got dirt. It's the lurkers. Ain't nothing wrong with lurkers, but the lurkers don't have to be shy. About an hour's drive away. Ooh, man, I need to do a psychic hotline or something. I was just guessing, too. Or maybe we need to all do Powerball and play the numbers. All win hobby money. Buy more minis. Now I'm going to try and get some of the stuff on the outside there, because guess what? There's dirt on the outside. Ooh. And do more on the outside there. Better than my old town. That was a 5-hour drive. What? 5-hour drive to the game store? Dude. It'd be like taking a week's vacation from work. And everybody will be like, oh, wow. Where are you going? You're going somewhere special for your vacation? I'm going to the game store. Because it is 5 hours away from my house. Dude, that's nuts, dude. I just put a lot on there. There, boy. Gotta try and spread that around. So that way it doesn't look overdone. Oh boy. Just so you see what I did. I fixed it though, it looks fine. That's what I got on the outside there. Trying not to knock nothing over. There we go. Trying to spread around that excess. Dust, dust, dust. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to wipe that down after. Before I paint anything else, otherwise that'll all get on whatever it is I'm painting. Oh. Let me see, where else did I get that side? No, I did not. Well, let's get that side together, shall we? Alright, woo, making progress. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly even because I'm going over with 2 other pigment colors. So, I mean, it's going to get the coverage it needs. There are only 2 here in Amarillo. And one has items on the shelf so long that they're covered with dust. Oh, that's a shame. Actually, to be completely honest with you, so when I was telling you guys about how I buy GW shades in bulk, which is true, and then I got lucky, and I actually wrote a blog about it. It's on the website, and I said how I scored on a bunch of GW shades. So there's this hobby store that's a few minutes away from my house, and basically it's a hobby store that generally specializes in, like, you know, RC cars and, you know, planes and stuff like that, right? And I guess they must have thought either that since they were a hobby store that they should carry GW stuff, or at some point GW came to them and said, since you are a hobby store, you need to carry our stuff. I honestly don't know which way it went. I didn't ask. And he had painting stuff that was, you know, scale model, miniature related, that was up there for so friggin' long that it was like, that they had dust on them too. It was ridiculous. Now, GW wise, I would have purchased the paint also if he had paints up there, but basically the paints were sitting in the sun. They were in a display thing that was, you know, facing the sun and whatever. So the paints were in the sun, so obviously they were not in good condition from sitting in the sun for at least, Jesus Christ, he had GW stuff on his shelves from like 6th edition. So he had like the Tomb Kings up there and like all kinds of craziness. But like the paints are no good. But the good thing is, yeah, store's closed now. That's a shame. Um, but the shades, the display that it was in, right? So the paints were at the top, and they were, you know, getting their suntan on, and then underneath was all the shades. So because the shades were shaded, haha, see what I did there? They did not end up getting all messed up or anything because they were covered up. But the thing was that, you know, someone had to save the shades, right? So I did it. I turned around and I went to him and I said, sir, if I may ask, I said, I'm seeing that you have stuff from 6th edition GW that hasn't moved, and we're up to 8th edition now, and also, so the stuff's been sitting for at least 2 or 3 years. And I said, and then I also noticed that you have paints that are collecting dust. And I said, I have a painting studio that's you know, a shop and whatever, and I said we go through the shades like they're going out of style. I said, so, you know, I can cut you a deal where I'll pay you back what you paid for the paints and whatever. So basically, what his choices were down to was either, you know, let the paint still sit on the shelf and collect dust, or at least get back what he paid for them and get rid of them to make room for something else that potentially could sell. So, of course, he was a very nice man and he was smart to boot, thank God. And he turned around and he said, you know what? That's a fair deal. That's fine. I'll do that with you. So yeah, I ended up paying wholesale what he paid for them, and I bought them off him. Now all the shades have a new home, and they're being used as we speak right here on this terrain piece. So I did Nuln Oil, and now I just went over the Nuln Oil with Agrax Earthshade, so it's got like a, now it doesn't look, instead of looking regular brown, now it looks dark brown, right? And then there's still going to be more on there. Oh, that's not all. We're going to have more colors on there. So exciting. Oh my God. I see I missed a spot in the dirt, so I'm going to fix that real quick. Like, really missed a spot, not as in like a tiny bit. I mean, it's not a big spot, but still, it's enough where it should have something on it. So I'm going to fix that. Just did that. Put some in here. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yes, queen. That's looking good. I'm getting pretty proud of this. I'm not going to lie. I did a similar thing with my local gaming shop in Old Town. Stopped carrying GW stuff. I picked up 6 or 7 paints for $3. Yeah, see? Just say get out of the store. Yeah, see, man? Because that's what it's all about. I mean, if you sit there and you know that there's a way you can help people, like, do it. There was actually another store, too, now that I'm thinking about it. Azel Art Supply, they're called, and they're in Dallas, Texas. They have a few other stores in some other areas too, but I just honestly don't remember where off the top of my head. Anyway, so Azel Art Supply is basically a fine art supply store, and they also had a GW rack. It was one of the smaller ones, though, you know. So I went to them too, and I was just like, so how long have you guys had this here, or whatever? And they were just like, oh, we've had it for years, and we can't get anybody to buy it or anything. So I put up a post on Facebook and was like, hey, if you're looking for GW stuff, you might be able to find stuff here that you can't find everywhere else, because these people have had stuff sitting here since the 10th plague. So this is the Vallejo Model Wash in green. Now, not to say I don't have a GW shade in green. I have like the BL tan green and stuff like that I can use. But this Vallejo green, I really, really like this green. It has like this right mix of brown and green and, you know, for moss and dinginess. And I really love it. And we're going to use it. It is very highly pigmented. So you can, if you want, just so you can see what it looks like on the palette, you can put some water in it if you want it to, you know, to spread a little further, if you will. And I do have one bottle that had the mix of Flowade and stuff. Oh no, when my sister has it in her car. She transported some of my stuff from Adepticon for me. And she's currently in Wisconsin visiting family. So I'm going to use the GW Lamian medium, and that should be just fine. And that's what I'm going to do. And what I'm doing is I'm going to put it on the walls to give that look of this cemetery's been there for a long damn time. And there's a lot of moss and growth and icky. There's a lot of ickies that happens. And when I go over the tombstones with this, then I'll thin it down some more. That way it doesn't look as much on the tombstones. And it shows, you know, some differentiation. So you see what it looks like. It just adds more color depth and stuff. Houndstooth Minis is now following. Thank you so much for that follow. Welcome. Were you one of the ones that was sitting and being shy and didn't want to say hi at first? Yeah, I have the Vallejo Dark Yellow Wash. I'll tell you, the Vallejo Dark Yellow Wash is great for pus. If you're doing effects like pus and yellow snow and stuff. Houndstooth Minis. Nope, just got here. I'm not shy. Well, good, good, good. You know, I'm very lucky. Everybody who's on here is a group of good, fun-loving people. They like to talk and stuff. So that's a good thing. Either way, we're glad you're here. If you guys have studios and stuff like that, which like obviously I would imagine Houndstooth Minis does and stuff, feel free to put your follow information in the chat. I don't mind stuff like that at all. Like if you have a Facebook page for people to follow, or if you have a Twitch also, or a Twitter or whatever, and you want people to follow you and spread the word about yourself, that's cool, man. You can put it in the chat so that people know where to find you. And that they can watch your stuff too. You know, it's hobby related, so it's like, you know. So yeah, feel free to put your info up there. YouTube channels, stuff like that, whatever you got. Totally fine to share it. Yeah, no problem. Hey man, it's community. It's what it's all about, man. We can all learn from each other and hang out together and make friends. I mean, why not, right? Life's too short. We're all here for the same thing. We're all here to enjoy the hobby, and because we like painting minis, and I like painting minis, so that's why I do this, to share that with you. So you're gonna head out? Why are you leaving? Thank you for the host, Houndstooth. Very nice of you. Thank you so much. Why are you gonna head out? Why are you leaving me, Jared? I left the link in the Shadespire guys in the FB group for folks. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, we also have a Facebook group, Metalhead Minis Hobby Group, so feel free to send a request to join. Basically, we share lots of tutorials and from everybody, not just us, you know, from other artists all over the world, and everybody shares what they're working on and has a good time. 8 a.m. meeting. Oh, well, all right. I guess we can forgive that. Well, I guess you can go to bed and dream about long nights of us painting. I watch the streams to soak up knowledge. Well, while this is soaking up wash, you soaking up knowledge. That's all good. I'm using a lot of green wash on this, I'm not even gonna lie. But I'm actually liking the way it's coming out. On the chance that it doesn't ban me. Why would it ban you? One of my good Twitch friends said you taught him a bunch of Adepticon status. Oh, you're one of Paulo's friends. That's so nice. Oh, thank you for the link. Very nice of you. Thank you so much. Oh, you're one of Paulo's friends. He's wonderful. I was so glad to finally meet him in person at Adepticon. Oh, he's such a doll, that guy. You stepped away. Did you miss something? Yeah, you missed stuff. We have new friends. We have Houndstooth Minis who just started following us. So he's part of our family now. So make sure to say hi to him. Yes, Paulo is definitely the best. And I also added Vallejo Green Wash to on top of the Reikhland Fleshade. So that's what you missed so far. I'm doing the outside part here too. Oh, it's so much stuff, so much. You see how it makes a difference there? Oh, that's cool. The whole new member thing actually works. That's awesome. I was wondering if it would work. I never actually saw it work yet. I guess it takes time for it to set. Ooh, I like the way this is looking. Must add it to a list of things needed. Oh, this green wash? Hell yeah, man. I love it. It's basically the way that they did the mix, I guess, was supposed to be for vehicles and stuff. But I mean, it works with other stuff too. I've used it over like tan color. Oh, you know what it looks nice over? Tan colored stone. I've done it over tan colored stone. Oh my god, it looks so good. I'm trying to be careful here because this thing is going nuts on me. Yeah, I'll definitely be glad to be done with this piece because it's so big. It's taking up so much room. I'm like getting into stuff as I go along. Gotta get the inside there. So, Houndstooth Minis, are you also located in Brazil, or? Because I mean, I know you say it says Houndstooth Minis, but I don't want to assume that like you're from the UK or something like that, you know? Try to see if I can get a good camera angle there for you. No, I'm Rhode Island. Oh, all right. I'm from New York City originally. And Rhode Island was about, I guess, 4.5 hours away, depending on what part you're going to. I've been to Rhode Island once. Oh, you're right. Paulo is in Florida, but I know that like he has friends and family from Brazil too, though he's originally from Brazil. Right. You're right. You're right. I look forward to seeing the finished piece. I must leave and get sleep. Funeral in the morning, unfortunately. Thanks for sharing. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, go take care of you. I mean, this will be up there and stuff, so you know you can see it anytime and whatever. So, but yeah, please come back and hang out with us again. Have a good night, Steve. Sleep well in spite of, you know, what your morning brings. If you need to talk or anything, you know, feel free to message. See how that green looks? Bam. That green, it's so much pop. I love it. When you add it to other stuff. I learned it. I missed a spot on this side, so that's what I'm doing right now. Just fixing that. Let me see how much more green I need. A little more. No, you're very welcome. Do you have any projects coming on, personal or professional, that you're really excited about? Well, I'll be really excited about finishing this. I'm painting a Space Marine army for one of my friends. I'll be excited once that's done. Just because, I mean, it's fun to paint, but I'm like really looking forward to see how it looks when it's finished. And I got some Shelf of Shame stuff that I'll be excited to paint, you know. And trying to think what else. I have quite a few things that for personal for me that I'd love to get to, but you know, what I do is I do commission work, and then I work on something else that I want to work on, which I call those lunch break pieces, because you're doing a little something in between. So I tend to try and work on my personal stuff in between, and one of those things is I got the I pay for Blackheart models, but I'm also but they also are for me, so I'm pretty excited about some of that I'll be working on. I just finished a Vlad the Impaler, and also coming up, I got for lunch break pieces. I got the Wolfman, and then I have Frankenstein. I base coated those two with Minotaur airbrush paints, and then I have actually I'll probably do a video soon, live stream Necromunda terrain that I worked on. I primed those with Stynylrez Silver Primer, so I'm looking forward to, you know, working on those, and I'll probably do stuff with washes and stuff with that too. So hopefully that's exciting for you guys. I love playing around with washes and inks and stuff. That's like seriously my jam. Inks, washes, doing crazy shit with pigment powders. Actually, I do it more. I don't really do it on the commission stuff for obvious reasons, unless I have a total free reign to do whatever I want, which most of the time I do. But on some of the current stuff that I have in, I don't. But yeah, stuff like this is my jam. Airbrushing with washes and inks, painting with washes and inks, like this. Those of you who are just tuning in, this was primer at first, and then I've been the guys who have been here since the beginning of this will tell you I've just been using GW shades, washes, and pigment powder. That's it. No paint. I mean, even though I'm sure the washes and inks count as acrylic paint, but you know what I mean. Got another follow. Who's that dude that gets that following? Thank you so much for the follow. That's so awesome, guys. Thank you so much. We're growing our family, our hobby family. This is so wonderful. Yeah, all right. So that's the green. Woo! Look at that. See how much of a difference that makes? That's Reikhland Fleshade with the green wash. That's that. That's with that. And then what I'm going to do... All right. Now I'm going to put some more green wash. But I'm going to thin it down more than I did for the walls. and I'm going to put it over the gravestones. Okay? Because, yeah, when the gravestones get rain on them and weathering and stuff, they get moss on them, right? So we got to make sure to imitate that. Now, one way you could go about it is you could sit there and kind of, drip it over to make it look like, rain and then the moss go over. How's Mortarian coming along? Wait, are we asking Houndstooth about that, or are we asking me? Because I didn't buy a Mortarian. Although I should, because I do have a Death Guard army. So I should get Mortarian. I just haven't gotten to that yet. I'm just going to kind of be random with this. I'm not really going to put the moss, the green, I'm not going to put it all over the place on the gravestones. I'm just going to kind of be random with it. Oh, asking Han. Okay, sorry about that. So you're about to see what the green looks like over the Nuln Oil, which is a little different than what it looks like over the Reikhland Fleshade. Over the Reikhland Fleshade, the Reikhland Fleshade seems to make the yellow and along with the green, it makes some yellow pop out as well. So it makes it, but now on this, it just makes it look like a darker green, like actual moss is on there. And we're going to put some green on the wood there too, because it would be reasonable to think that some green would go on from weathering and stuff would go on there too. I'm just going to put it on there like that. And this is what the green looks like over normal. Just looks like a darker green. You see the comparison? I hope you can see it well enough. But yeah, that's the green wash, the Vallejo green wash over the Nuln Oil, over the black. And this is the green wash over Reikhland Fleshade, which is a reddish brown. And you see how there's a pop of some yellow in there besides the green and the red. Send an update via Facebook. Ooh, okay, let me check that because I have to sit there and get ready to do the next color anyway. So I must check that real quick. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, these are just pictures. Okay, so you're not sending them as like a video or whatever. Oh, nice. Now, I see here that you put the, with the sponsor part. Is it go? Oh, I like the tombstones, the way you put those. That's so freaking cool. I like that. Now, is that the sponsors' names, they're gonna scroll through and stuff like that, or flash, or like, is there something that I'll need to do on that, or change it up? And does it say sponsored by, or? Alright, what am I going to do next? I'm probably going to do some Drakenhof Nightshade. But I'm going to have to let that... Actually, I'm going to have to let some of this ink dry. So I'm going to go to the next pigment powder is what I'm going to do. And this is Sienna. Andrea pigments in Sienna. 1 second. I'm being signaled by a child for the air conditioning. So it seems my air conditioning likes to suddenly stop cooling. I can simulstream if you want. Oh, to see how it looks when it works? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want, are you able to do that by video? That won't put you out of your way, no nothing, right? I mean, I'm not trying to put you out of your way. I'm gonna say it's all automated. Okay. So back to the pigment brush. I'm not gonna clean the pigment brush because I wanted the pigment to keep going on dry. And it's okay if the darker color's still on there. I'm gonna do some fun graphics for all your stuff. Okay. As long as it's fun for you. I don't want it to not be fun, because if it's not fun, then what's the point? I really appreciate you doing this, by the way. We got some pigment powder on there. Tamp it like you're working with makeup. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Just... And I'm just being kind of random with it. I'm not going to put it all over the place like I did with the darker color, the Natural Earth, which was my base color, because I want there to be some definition going on with the dirt. And so the only way to do that would be to add color in some different places. Otherwise, it just looks like... It's okay to go over some spots, but you don't want to, you know, completely paint over the whole thing, because it won't look right. Oh, and Dante, when you do the overlay, is there any way that you can put on there your credit, so that way they know who did it? Because I want to make sure it's properly credited, and in case somebody else wants to get theirs done, they can find you, you know what I mean, or something. You know, overlay done by, you know, and then a site or something, they can find you. Alright, so just so that you can see what this lighter color looks like, you see here that it adds a little, like the dirt doesn't look like it's all one color. It's actually a little more orangey than I want, so I might actually, like, I'll still keep this color, but I'm thinking I want to go in with something even darker. I think that's what I want to do. Because I like the way that this color pops, but it's just wasn't honestly totally exactly what I envisioned, so I keep seeing I want a darker color in this one. Oh, you're so sweet. So that's going to be it for the Sienna. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Otherwise, it'll look like just orange dirt all over the place. And then at that point, what are we doing? Let me take that out. Put those back. I know I have a darker one somewhere. Hold up. No, not that one. Do you have a regular streaming schedule? No, not yet. Anyway, I would love to have a regular streaming schedule, but I have children and stuff, and we lead a very, 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 very busy life. So truthfully, it's very hard to have a regular schedule because, you know, what if one of the kids is sick or something like that? If one of my kids gets sick or, you know, something else with the business comes up, because another thing that happens is I get booked for a lot of events or I have meetings with clients. And so it's hard for me, truthfully, to have a regular schedule when I always have so much going on. I want to eventually have a regular schedule. We'll just have to kind of see what works and stuff like that. Trying to redo my AV setup and can't find my Teflon tape. Oh, did you just get that? Ash. I don't want ash. I'm like sitting here trying to find darker pigment powders, and I have so many pigment powders, and I'm like, why can't I find a dark brown? I thought I had one. Well, what I could do is you can mix pigment colors. So that's something to think about. I have here iron oxide, which I'm putting over some areas of the base color so that it kind of mixes together so that it doesn't look like straight black. Yeah, see, that's a little bit more what I was thinking that's going on there. Look, see how I'm mixing it? That looks a little more like what I'm envisioning. Oh, there you is. Let me see. Let me see if I can do that real quick through my phone. I think I can do it through my phone. Let's see. The moment of truth. I can do that real quick through my phone. I think I can do it through my phone. Let's see. The moment of truth. Dante, put up that Twitch link again so that it comes up in chat through my phone. Because I just went through chat on my phone and it's not showing up. And I know it's because it doesn't really show what's previous. Dante, put up that Streamception. So that it comes up in chat through my phone. Because I just went through Here's the black. It's not showing up. I put black and I mixed it with some of the base color. So that it looks darker. Streamception. Here's the black. I put black and I mixed it with some of the base color. So it looks darker. Let me see if I put more black anywhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's see if I can get it to my phone. Oh, there it is. I did it! Okay. Shimmy, shimmy. There you is. The only thing is that you're not really moving on the screen. Just kind of going in pieces there. Choppy. Kind of choppy.
Yeah, I want it all. I'm good now.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah, so what we got here currently is this is going to do the advertisements, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Your current project will scroll here. Your subscriber will come up here, followers will come up here, and then we can do some other stuff around this area here. But this is your main area, and we can keep it kind of we'll keep it this big. I don't know. It's just normal desktop stuff, but I could probably stream a game or something and show you.
Oh no, that size looks good.
So yeah, fun times.
Yeah, that looks good. Thank you so much. Where's the what do you call it? The social media following. Where's that going to come up? Oh, that's it on the side there. Oh, I see. Because the icons, the outline is the screen is smaller. The outline looks like it kind of fades in. I see. Awesome. Look at that, people. My Twitch channel's gonna be looking all snazzy and stuff. Let's see. What's the next color? I want to work on put the next color on these steps. Yep.
What right around here is going to be. Yeah, no, it's acting. Yeah, it's stupid. Right now it is, yeah.
Oh, I see. I keep forgetting there's a delay, for God's sake. So I'm going to do the steps again. Now this part's it's not totally dry yet, but for the most part it is. So I think I'm going to do, or I can do the walls too. I'm kind of wondering if I should leave the walls alone because I'm liking the way it's looking, and then I can just dry brush with a color. I don't know. What do you guys take a look? What do you guys think? I mean, I can go over with Nuln Oil or something.
Cool. So remember once again, you got there you go. Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Got it, sir.
Subscribers. Oh. That's gonna be like this area here. That's gonna be all your chat stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, chat stuff. Chat's gonna be here. Remember that.
Okay. Oh, and the Anyways Designs logo, I think, looks different than that, unless they changed it in the last 24 hours.
All of that's going to be chat.
He's just really into telling me that that's a chat bar. Oh, you found your Teflon tape? That's awesome, Ed. I think I'm going to do Drakenhof Nightshade on the gravestones. That's the blue. And I'm going to water it down, thin it down some. I'm going to do this on the gravestones on the under part there. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to leave the stone around the edges alone. because I'm liking the way that's looking. And then if anything, I might go over and dry brush with like a grayish brown color or something, because that's what you do after. When you do it, you just usually dry brush. And oh, so anyways, design did change the logo. I didn't even know that. Usually, you know, because I talk to Tim just about every day. Usually he's really good about telling me, hey, we did this change, so that I can update stuff or whatever. But he might have forgotten. Or maybe when he mentioned me in a comment on Facebook, maybe that's what he was trying to point out to me, but I just didn't see it yet. But either way, the website address that I put leads to their site, so it's not like it'll hurt anything. More Drakenhof Nightshade. And then, like when you do wood, if you started out with like I did with Agrax Earthshade and stuff, then what I will be doing rather, is I will be going back in and dry brush with like a light brown in order to do some edge highlighting on there. So that'll make it look better. There we go. On the gravestones there. Oh, there's no music. Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry about that, guys. Do you know vanilla paints? I don't honestly know. Like, does the person have like a, I don't know, a real name, or are they known as something else? Because you know how it is. Sometimes, you know their name but don't know their face. Have the face but don't know the name. I'm guilty of a lot of that. Now, what I could do with the dirt, around the dirt and stuff like that, is I could go in with a color for dirt. Kind of wondering if I should do, well, it's like I could do Agrax Earthshade. I still want to do something with the, oh yeah, I gotta do green for the, I'm gonna do green for this, for the stones. And then what I could do is I can go in, like I could, for example, take pigment powder with a little bit of liquid and just go around on some parts just to give different dirtings. Got a bristle from the brush in there. I didn't mean to do that. That's one thing about cheap brushes you gotta watch out for. And then there's the flock too, so I know that's all mixing in there too. See if you can see real well what's going on there. I just put green over Nuln Oil and the Agrax Earthshade on the middle stones. So they should end up looking a little different. A little different from the rest. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Agrax Earthshade, and I think I'm going to mix it with some Nuln Oil. Another thing I like about these, you just flip it up with your one thumb. You're ready to rock. That's another thing I like about these bottles. Not sure if you answered my question at reload. Is this being really lagging? Yeah. Oh, do I know? Oh, well, was it when you asked about vanilla paints? Truthfully, I'm not sure if I know vanilla paints because like with some people, yeah, they go by online names and you got to put a face to the name, or like, do they go by some other name for something, or is their studio name something different, or? Because other than that, I can't say that I actually know vanilla paints unless they're known as something else too. I don't know vanilla. Is vanilla one of those that like? I'm just taking this Agrax Earthshade mixed with black, and I'm just dabbing it around in the dirt areas, so that way there's some different stuff going on. And I realized I forgot to put some green over here, and I'm fixing that. He's another mini streamer on Twitch. Oh, all right. Well, I mean, I can always look him up. So you say vanilla paints. I mean, I thought that I was automatically thinking a girl. Not for nothing. Sorry. I just want to know if he was at it. Well, then if he was at Adepticon, then probably she would know because she had more time to do. She was doing quite a bit of hanging out and stuff like that besides teaching, and I was teaching I was either teaching or at Fort Waffle most of the time, or the vendor hall. I shouldn't say just those two places, but I was thinking I'm gonna do a video soon on YouTube where how to. Yeah, I could see what that said. I didn't think so because I thought he was streaming from home this weekend. I could be wrong. Oh, okay. That's what the stone looks like. In the front, and there's pigment powder and just pigment powder, washes, and shades. That's all this is. And we are waiting for the stone steps to, the stone trail, or I don't know what you want to call it, to dry. So in the meantime, we're going to do some dry brushing to get some edge highlighting going on, and then this would be done. So I painted a larger terrain piece basically in 3 hours. And that's not bad, because the only thing I didn't do on this was prime it. Sorry. Zoom Tech Medic is now following. Thank you for the follow. Nice to meet you. Everyone say hello to our new friend. Yeah, we're going to do some dry brushing on this. I gotta see his little pad there. Alright, so colors I'm going to do for edge highlighting and dry brushing, okay? What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a light gray. Just call me KM, it's easier. I will do that. Now I just have to, that might take me a couple of times to remember, and if so, I apologize, but I will make an effort. So yes, everyone say hello to our new friend KM. So yeah, I'm going to do light gray for some edge highlighting, and that's going to be for the gravestones, and for the mausoleums and stuff, that'll be light gray for some edge highlighting. I will also probably be using a gray for these steps. And for the walls here, I'm thinking I want to do kind of like, I don't know, like either a brownish gray or maybe maybe a light brown. Maybe I might want to go with. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Hello, person who I didn't know at all. That's awesome. So yeah, those are the colors I think to start. I'm gonna do is that's what I'm thinking. I'm in a dilemma with the rooftop, since it's like a reddish brown. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with that. Oh, and for the wooden parts, I'm gonna do like a tan color for the dry brushing. That is for sure. I will definitely be doing that part. So let me find. Oh, I should put this away. I got stuffs everywhere. Alright, now back to hunting for that damn terrain grass. Get the terrain grass! Of course, you're always welcome to still stay with us while you do that. I'm trying to look for these colors. Alright, I'm going to do this color, this tan leather for the wooden parts. It's my personal hell. Is that grass that bad to find? What is it? Is it like just flock, or what kind of grass is it that you're looking for? We got light brown, and I need a light gray. What am I going to do here? Oh, this is perfect. Weathered stone for the gravestones. That's perfect. We'll do that. Okay, that works. And then I was saying I wanted to kind of do like a cream or something for those stones. Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? I have like a bunch of paints to choose from, so I'm trying to not go too crazy, but oh, I know what I can do, actually, which I think you guys will be interested in seeing. That's a flesh color. That's fair skin tone, and you can't see the words because it's practically worn off. The bag is missing its off. Oh, the long brown grass from Mr. Justin's basing kits. Oh, that's the ones that it's like those long tufts, and then you can cut them down. Is that right? So now we find a dry brush. That could be helpful. Actually, this could even work for a dry brush. I just have to clean off the excess pigment powder, but other than that, it can work. So right now I'm cleaning the excess pigment powder off of the brush. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Did you get it from Adepticon, or you just have it in general? See, I cleaned off some of that excess. It's still dirty, but I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I'm painting over, I'm dry brushing something that's from nature and weathered, so it's not going to hurt anything if I do that. I've had it for ages. Oh, alright. Oh, well, that makes sense. You've lost it in the abyss of all the other minis that you bought after you promised you'd paint everything first before you buy more. So that's probably where it is. Buried with all that. Light gray is what I'm starting with. And you just want to dry brush and get the edges. And I'm wiping off excess paint on a on an old washcloth from home. I ran out of paper towels. I forgot to pick up more paper towels after I got home from Adepticon. Don't judge me. I'll go shopping for more stuff tomorrow. Nobody was home all weekend, so. And it's just tabletop. We're just trying to get it up on the table, so it does not, by any means, have to look perfect. So just so that we see result. There's still some wash that's drying on the bottom, but just so you get the basic idea. And if you want to step it up to be even brighter than that, you can add white and mix it with the gray. To make it stand out more, which actually I'm truthfully thinking about doing, because the weathered stone was not as bright as I thought it would be. And I'll need quite a bit of it, so. Oop. I put a drop of white in there, and now I'm mixing it up. And it should make a difference. At least I hope so. We'll see in a minute. Yep, it made a difference. It's not crazy brighter, you know, more brighter than it was before, but it's enough that I'm happy with it. And if you mess up a little on dry brushing, you just keep brushing it, and the pigments, you know, the paint will, you can manipulate it around a little bit to an extent and make it look more, especially when it's stone, it's just not that strict or at all. So I would say, I guess the only exception would be if you're doing something display, but if you're not, like, don't go nuts over it. Try to see if I can make you see it clear enough, but at least you could get an idea. See, so it makes a difference. Getting a little more. I'm gonna do this tombstone. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. I'm going to do a little more white. I'm going to go crazy on that white. because I do not want the whole thing to look the same throughout. Don't edge highlight every single part of this, because it is not necessary. Distracted now, clean up assembling resume from the head. Hey, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking a break from looking for grass. What do you guys think? And then when you see a pesky little hair, you just pull it out. Hounds incoming. Rating with a party of 11. Does that mean that you're hosting me? Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting. Hey, are you following me on Twitch too? Double check. Hello, darling. I'm almost done with this terrain piece. You missed so much. We were all partying. You see, I've been dry brushing the edges to give some highlighting. What do you guys think? And this is over just washes, shades, and pigment powder for the dirt. So that the dirt actually looks like dirt. Thank you. And I'm trying to find... Oh, there's gravestones over here. Well, at least make sure you get the tops of the tombstones, if nothing else. Have fun. I have to work in a few. Oh, all right. Have fun. See you soon. Yay for highlighting on the gravestone. See? Not a crazy amount, but you know, like I said, you don't have to go crazy with it. It's just enough to make a difference. Just enough to make it stand out and be like, oh yeah, look, there's gravestone over there. And when you do dry brushing, you want to go against the grain. Ooh, we don't have much to go, people. Look at this. You guys ever see the movie Rat Race? Oh, wow, we got a bunch of people watching. You guys ever see the movie Rat Race with, and then there's that part where you got Mr. Bean, and he played the Italian guy. He's like, my name is Enrico Paolini. He's like, we are hauling ass. And that's exactly what we're doing on this piece. We are hauling ass. And I will have this at the game store tomorrow. Yay! Hello, hello. Welcome to everybody who's here on the stream. Don't be shy. Feel free to follow. Feel free to say hi. Make some friends. We're a fun-loving group of people here. Just dry brushing the edges of these, and then this will be. Then we just gotta do the wood and the stone, and we done. I'm so excited. Did something start to finish on here. And I'm tired, but I ain't giving up. Because we've come too far. We've come too far to give up now. Ain't no stopping us now. We're on the move. Gotta get Mr. Skeleton Dude. Aw, yeah, we got Mr. Skeleton Dude. And a random brush hair. There we go. Got rid of it. Gonna hit the stone up a little more on some of these. Woohoo! What do you guys think? We hit up some of that. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Clean that brush up a little bit. Now we go on to the light brown for the wood. It's a lighter wood color, right? Thank you, thank you. So that's a lighter wood color, and that's what we're going to use to dry brush over, or to, to edge highlight the wood, like the caskets, for example. I'm going to try and get a little bit of this bottom part here, because that's where realistically, because of the way it's slanted, light would hit a pretty good amount there on the bottom. So that's why I'm making sure to get that area. And then if you end up messing up and doing like you get a line in there you don't want, just kind of move the dry brush around and kind of manipulate. Do you play any games, time permitting, or just paint? No, I play games too. Guild Ball, Warhammer 40k. I'll be playing Infinity at some point too. I got a whole panel army. And I have Age of Sigmar. And I have Horus Heresy. So hell yes, I do play. I play when I can. And yeah, like you said, yeah, it's definitely time permitting. Yeah, I do. I have a pretty big Death Guard army actually. I have a pretty big Death Guard army. I have a horrendously huge Ultramarines army with Legion of the Damned. Huzzah, Pano, yeah. Guild Ball team, Morticians. I am a huge fan of the holiday Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday in the entire world. I truthfully get more excited about Halloween than I do about Christmas. Actually, I don't get really excited about Christmas at all. I do get excited about Christmas, but for my children, because I still have 2 little children. My other 3 are adults now, so they don't really get all into Christmas either until they get cash, and then they go buy themselves shit. Looking forward to the rat catchers. I don't know. Sorry, I was drinking some juice. It's really good. It's mango passion fruit juice. It's tasty. Looking forward to rat catchers. I don't know. Thinking I'm so far from the few models I've seen, I think I'm liking the blacksmiths better than the rat catchers, to be completely honest. From the models, some of the previews and stuff that I've been seeing and whatever. Oh, and also I did see a set at Adepticon. They did have a set of blacksmiths there, and I actually thought those models were nicer looking than the rat catchers, to be honest. So you know what? To answer your question, I think that's what I'm gonna go with for the answer for you. I'm gonna add some earth brown to the highlighting for the wood, because I feel, personally, it's just me, but I feel like the tan kind of fell flat to me and looked a little too similar to the gray and stuff like that. So I was thinking I wanted to add a little more brown, and that's what I'm doing. And you're going to find that in your painting sometimes. You're going to look and you're just going to be like, I think I want there to be a little more of this in it. And just roll with it, man. If it makes you happy, just roll with it. Cleaning off the brush. Doing the gray with the white. That one little edge does look a little much, but I have to make a new mix of paint. It happens. There we go. And you see here how when I added that brown to the wood, it makes it look a little better. There's some wood there in the corner that's standing against the wall. I mean, I'm sure when I dry brush with the flesh color there on the stone, I'm sure it might look a little different, but just in case, figure better to be safe than sorry. And it's not like it's not fixable. It's fixable. It's acrylic paint, for God's sake. I made some more gray with white so that I can dry brush these steps, or the steps and the stone here on the trail. Follow the gray brick road. And you'll see that some spots look a little brighter than others, but one, it's nature. It's not supposed to be perfect. Anytime you paint something natural, nature, outside, outdoors stuff, it is absolutely not supposed to be perfect because nothing in nature is, I mean, to us when we look at it, the beauty of it, oh, it's so perfect. That's one thing. But when it comes to painting it and when it comes to making it look as realistic as possible, it's not supposed to be. Because I mean, like for example, look. I mean, if that's the case, then how come all these stones aren't the exact same color, and why don't they have the same divots in them? You know, just wouldn't make sense. It would look nice, maybe, but that's not what they were trying to do here, so. Like I said, if you have a line somewhere where you didn't want it, you can always just move your dry brush around, go different directions and stuff. And especially when you're doing stone, it's stone stuff like this is truthfully, it's very forgiving. So it's not like, or you can always go in and go back over with a shade to kind of cover something up, or so there's a bunch of different things you can do. Oh yeah. Haha. Alright, what do you think? There's the steps, the stone trail or steps or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, buddy. I'm liking it, people. Let's dry brushing on this. Now, when you get a follow, it'll show a zombie pop up from the tombstone and do a zombie voice. Oh, that's... I like that, dude. That's awesome. Oh, that's hysterical. Now I'm doing the flesh color. This is fair skin. That's what fair skin looks like, just so you know.
It's a great time to let go with the Samsung Spring for Something New event. Upgrade to Samsung.
Trying to gently get these edges. I think I'm going to use the fair skin for the edges on the roof of this too. Because flesh colors go good with red when you're highlighting up from red. And if you do, you can always like go with your finger and just kind of wipe if you need to. Just kind of, you're like, oh no, don't. See, like I did that, and I wanted to highlight, but I wanted to soften it a little bit. So I went over with my finger. You can do that with your stuff, and it helps. I'm going along the edges here of the stone. I'm not trying to do the whole thing, because I want to keep mostly that color that I did there, because I really like how that came out. I'm doing this because I don't like the way like a little bit of this went, so I'm just taking the dry brush, moving it around like I told you about. Just go around different directions, just mess with it. And again, like I said, since it's stones, it's a little more it's more forgiving. Like you don't have to worry about stuff like that as much. But now that I did it like that, I'm gonna have to do it on all of it. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but I am gonna have to do it everywhere. Otherwise, whoever looks at it is gonna be like, "Why is this only on the one side?" Love the sound of dry brushing. I bet you do. It's this very peaceful, scratchy sound. Well, for me, I'm loving the sound of dry brushing because for me, it's the sound of almost done. How about that? That's what that is for me. The sound of almost done. Sound of almost done and go back to bed.
Eggo waffles have no artificial flavors. It doesn't get any better than this.
Yeah, buddy. It stopped in the middle of that song just to sit there and tell us how great Eggo waffles are. We already know Eggo waffles are great because 11 eats them on Stranger Things. Duh. We didn't need your help in telling us how great Eggos were. Shoot. I was born in the 70s. I was around for all that. Yeah, buddy, getting those edges. Getting those edges, hustle level ninja. As Dante said earlier. He said my hustle level is ninja. Now you can get some of the walls if you want, just to kind of give a little something something, but also because I don't want to waste paint, right? Because I have some of the fair skin color left, and I don't want to waste it, obviously, so I'm gonna make sure other parts stand out. Guys, I think we're just about done here. Yay! And then we can all go to bed. Before I have to get up again in a few hours. There we go. We did some dry brushing. Oh, this is looking good. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let me see. Oh, I remember I wanted to add a little more brown to the wood. So I did it on that one side, but I didn't get the casket. So I got to get that real quick. We got any new people just tuning in? We've just been working on, I've been working on showing these fine folks about working on a piece of terrain just using pretty much washes, the GW shades, and pigment powders. And the only regular paint that's been used is for dry brushing, the dry brush to highlight the edges some. And that's about it. What do you guys think? Now, well, you can see the dry brushing that was done on the stone. Let me see if I can. There you go. Just like regular stone. And then you could see the skeleton stands out. Looking good. Now I think we're going to call this done. What do you think? We got the pigment powder, which is like dirt. We got gravestones. The steps are colored and highlighted. The gravestones. It's not all just primer gray anymore. And in this is green and reddish brown and red and dark brown.
Take your business to the next level. Choose any
Yellow.
Manage every call, every
Light gray, flesh color.
so you
Blue.
can help every client faster. Grasshopper, the professional phone system for
All in
growing
there.
businesses. Sign up
And I mean, there's a bunch of different things you can do. Like I said, I just wanted to do this up real quick and just spruce it up a bit for my local game store. I just didn't want to hand it to them looking like, just gray foam primer with some flock on it, you know what I mean? But now there's actually some colors in there and some depth. And when I'll take pictures and do a before and after, and maybe that'll be helpful too, right? You know what else we can do? I'll show you. Can also take a do that. Can also take pigment powder in a couple of different colors. Ooh, I know what to do. Do this one too. And maybe some of this green. This is Soilworks Scale 75 pigment. if you're sitting there and you want to spend an extra minute on it, just to kind of, like if you feel, for example, that these stairs are looking a little naked, they're looking naked, you just sit there and take some pigment powder and just kind of aim at the cracks in between. Because yeah, realistically, the stones would have dirt in between, right? So like, check it out. So you see the difference. Wait, let me fix this so it doesn't look crappy. Okay. Compared to, say, like this was before. And then after. You can do that. Put a little bit of that. Do it in between the cracks. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to let the washes and stuff, everything I did and painted over, and just let it dry. I mean, it's acrylic, so it takes a few minutes to dry relatively, but since there's so much of it, I'll just let it dry overnight and then spray Tester's dull coat on it in the morning. And then when I go tomorrow night to the game store, it'll be all sealed and ready to rock. And ready to play on. So if anybody would want to play on it tomorrow, they can. You just do it. Now I'm not doing it every single inch of it. Just kind of putting it, dusting it. Just dusting it and going around. That's all I'm doing. You don't want to... Okay, so far that's what that looks like. And now I'm going to put some of that green. I love how the color of this green, isn't it? It's so beautiful, so rich. You can get that from scale75usa.com. And then you just get it on there. It's a relatively light kind of green. And you just kind of dust it around. You can blow on it. If you feel you put too much in one spot, like I just feel like I did, you can always go back over. Blow on it. There you go.
At Kia, we're bringing meaning back to value with America's best value. Value with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Value from the brand ranked highest in initial quality 2 years in a row.
And I added some green. And if I wanted to, I could sit there and do stuff like add the green pigment powder to the wood if I wanted to. Or I could even sit there and add it to the grave mausoleums and stuff. So that if I wanted to add to the green wash that I did to do the creation of moss, or to give the look of moss rather, I could do that. And then add some green pigment powder just to give that more natural, like, wow, it's rained here a lot. And doing these little things can make a bunch of difference. Put over there. Let's just go crazy. Let's put some there. Boop, boop. Put some on this gravestone. Put some on this gravestone. I'm gonna Oprah this green pigment powder. You get green pigment powder. You get green pigment powder. Everyone gets green pigment powder. So yeah, I Oprah'd a bunch of pigment powder there. Yay! Now I'm going to show you guys. Tell me what you think, okay? Actually, let me fix this one here first because I feel like I spread a little too much there. Okay, cool. Yeah, see? I thoroughly Oprah'd. I sure did. Now, on the camera here, I'm sure because of the lighting and stuff, you might not be able to see what I did with the green. Let me see if I can find a way to make it better. You might not be able to see it too well, but in the pictures you should be able to. But you see, at least have an idea. So how do you guys feel? Do you feel confident enough to paint a large terrain piece in a few hours while having a good time hanging out with friends? And this is going to New World Gaming in Frisco, Texas. That's where this is going. And this is, I hope you guys like it. Like I said, I'll be sure to put up a before and after for you so you could see it. Yeah. So I think I'm pretty happy with this, not for nothing. I really like how this came out. So I think I am going to go to bed because it is now past 1 a.m. and I have to get up in a little while. So, so you guys, thank you so very much. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And thank you so much for those of you who hosted and those of you who you are very welcome. Thank you. And thank you so much for the new followers. You know, I'm really looking forward to doing lots more live stuff with you now that I'm really starting to, you know, learn better on how this whole thing goes. And yeah, so love you guys. Have yourselves a good night. Get some rest, sleep well, and have yourselves a great day.